We're back in 2022. It's a new spring anime season, and you're on the lookout to watch more shows of your favorite genre. Yep, male self-insert power fantasy isekais, a genre where some nobody who ostensibly is a loser turns out to have super strong powers and is actually the coolest. You watch them all the time. This season is no different, as you have already watched Shield Hero Season 2. Otome Games is tough on mobs, Skeleton Knight in another world. Well, next on that list labeled Isekai is The Executioner and Her Way of Life, and you decide to watch it. The story starts with a boy named Mitsuki finding himself transported into another world one day while eating. How great! That means he gets to live the isekai life of everybody's dreams. At least, that's how it should go. However, while trying to identify if Mitsuki has any crazy talents or powers, the results come out as null. So, Mitsuki is kicked out as a useless person because he has nothing as his power. And in an unfamiliar world, that means he's all alone with no support. Which is where our heroine, Meno, shows up to give him a helping hand, to offer him a roof over his head and guidance to survive. But it's not all free service. Mitsuki has to work and earn his keep, and the best way to do that is with his powers, something every isekai person has had without exception. So, they go to a dilapidated church for Mitsuki to test if he truly lacked any powers. And the result? When it was said that he has nothing as his power, it was quite literally the power to turn stuff into nothing, the power to nullify something's existence. This means he's actually an overpowered protagonist after all. He's not useless. That shows them for kicking him out. He can finally start the isekai life of his... Huh? What? You can't just do that to him. You can't just do that to me. I must. I saw this new anime and decided to check it out, and 10 minutes into the show, they killed off the only interesting thing about it. Instant drop from me. Just as I thought this could be a good one, they killed the guy who is innocent. She killed an innocent guy that was unwillingly summoned to another world, and people are okay with that? And why? Because Yuri and boobs, that's all. See, some people got really upset Mitsuki was killed, and started to complain that they didn't like Mano because she's a bad person. Not like she just tried to say she was otherwise, but complaints like this were just the tip of the iceberg, a mask to obfuscate from their true feelings and thoughts, which was just a bunch of homophobia and misogyny. So, content warning, the incident of this is that I'm about to dive into a lot of the bigotry that surrounded what happened after this episode. So if you're not in the mind to be seeing that right now, consider skipping ahead to this timestamp. Otherwise, the conversation surrounding this Yuri anime is going to start getting really toxic. Because people were coming out of the woodworks to complain how they killed off a perfectly good dude for a disgusting LGBT Yuri. How any self-respecting male watching would be upset that the author must be a feminist to have written that scene. That what they saw was some rad femme comedy skit. That they actually are just a normal, concerned Yuri fan, but are scared of all this potential feminazi stuff. You can tell from their language just the kind of internet people they were. And it was all over the discussion board of a Yuri anime. And they weren't even hiding their bigotry either. Some of them just straight up saying the LGBT is disgusting. That their lifestyle is rooted in mental illness. But that they're not homophobic. Clearly, they're just saying the truth. And as a result of all that, the thread was locked. But that didn't stop them because new ones would just pop up. And what does this locked thread called Hot Take discuss? Just that female main characters make a show bad. The thread was literally created just to say sex is garbage, and then they get locked, obviously. Threads then would come out poking fun at those upset bigots, and then those were locked too. There would be anti-reviews against the show for this and counter positive reviews to spite those hateful reviews. A war was happening over this Yuri anime as things just spiraled into degeneracy. I would know because I was reading and trying to have normal conversations with the series itself at the time. Just as a note, I was a light novel reader at the time. I only read up to like 4 volumes, but I enjoyed it. I'm not up to date anymore. Not that you could find them anymore, as those threads have since been deleted. Now the moment exists in the Yuri zeitgeist as a time a bunch of homophobes and sexists unmask themselves to complain about a Yuri anime for being Yuri. It has basically become one of the moments to refer back to when talking about hate towards Yuri. Though, I can think of a more recent example if I truly wanted to talk about it, but I'm not. But that's not all I wanted to talk about, because what I want to be the takeaway from this video is the reason why this situation happened at all. Let me present you with an idea. We all know a girl's love tag tells us something is Yuri, just as a boy's love tag will tell you it's yaoi, and a romance tag will tell you something focuses on relationships, specifically straight ones. Cutting in again, I want to make it clear why this matters. Because girls love and boys love, the tag serves as both a gay counterpart to the romance tag, but also as identity. A signifier that there are queer characters in this story, and a problem arises when romance is not a focus in them, such that it doesn't get that GL or BL tag, and so loses its queer identifier as well. It's a problem not shared by shows without a romance tag, because heterosexual relationships don't need a romance tag for visibility. Heteronormativity will allow a majority of people to assume that most shows have straight characters. You'd be right to assume that 95% of the time. But the missing percent, which isn't the case, will give you situations like this video. The executioner and her way of life isn't tagged as a girls' love series, meaning people who have no interest in Yuri find themselves unexpectedly watching one, and some of them might even be homophobic, such that they get upset enough to complain and voice that disdain. And while I have no sympathy towards homophobes and want them thrown in a wood chipper, I also have zero desire to want to see them in our Yuri spaces. And I would hope neither do the homophobes have any desire to be in any Yuri spaces, such that we could mutually agree that the reason all this happened at all is because of my anime list itself. This wouldn't be an issue if my anime list properly tagged Yuri works, not only to avoid conflict but to better support the Yuri genre itself in its visibility. For example, some works in the past I remember, like Stardust Telepathy and Seiyu Radio, were given the girls love tag, but after their release, it was then removed, despite the fact that those series are advertised and sold as Yuri in Japan. Some never even got the Yuri tag to begin with, like with Hikikomori Vampire, which again is sold as Yuri. If you looked at MAL and sorted by the girls love tag, it'd have you believe that throughout the entirety of 2021 through 2022, a full 2 years, there was not one full-length Yuri series. None. Like, sure, just pretend the subject of this video didn't come out in 2022. Or Other Side Picnic, a sci-fi horror Yuri, also wasn't a 2021 anime. How about Vampire in the Garden, 2022? Miss Kobayashi Dragon Maid S, 2021. And I mean, like, gosh, even Gundam Witch of Mercury, which they're literally married by the end, does not get a Yuri tag, a 2022 anime. We as Yuri fans have to spread and express those works as Yuri to people looking for Yuri anime to watch, because if they tried to find it with a tag on my anime list, for example, they would literally be gaslit into thinking there's barely any new Yuri anime out there. It's Pride Month at the time of this video, and even at the moment of this current anime season, you'll not find a girls love tag show, despite the fact that Ninkoro is right there, with openly lesbian relationships, Yuri love triangle, and an author who states their own manga is Yuri. Rock is a ladies' modesty has been ripping it up on the gay fandom side of things, which Yuri fans have been eating up. And you know, while I'm at it, Next season, we're getting the most hyped Yuri anime of the year, Watanari, aka There's No Freaking Way I'll Be Your Lover Unless. And the season after that, we're expected to get GG Well Played, Young Ladies Don't Play Fighting Games, This Monster Wants to Eat Me, and This Is a Workplace Where You Can't Help But Smile. And that's not even to mention all the other Yuri anime we know are coming eventually. And yet I fear that some of them could lose their Yuri tag and get less attention for it. It's not even the first time I've had to talk about the lack of a Yuri tag from a platform, making it very hard for Yuri to be found. And what I mean to say from all this is that the visibility of Yuri is low enough already as it is. Part of the lifeblood for Yuri, be it in anime, manga, light novels, web novels, or games, is us, the community who spread that it exists at all. Small as we are, it is important. That's what I mostly wanted to say. Yuri fans are a niche community as it is, and sharing and engaging in Yuri helps all of us stay aware and keep what we love alive. At least, that's what I've been trying to do for a while now, and I hope you'll subscribe and continue to follow me as I shout about the Yuri I love in the future too. And with that, thanks to my patrons who, now I got 5, which is pretty crazy for me. Okay, so honestly I did this takes for the names a lot of times and I still messed them up and I don't like the one I did before, so I'm gonna just try this again one more time. Thank you to my patrons, Stout Lover, Aroma Lescano Huff, Hekuns, Caroline Hippensteel, and Yuri Primable. Sorry if I still butchered the names. And for everyone else, have a good day. And don't forget to read Yuri. As right now at least, I'm currently in the process of reading the Yuri web novel. I'm a childhood friend and I want to remain a support character, but for some reason I've become the heroine's love interest, which has been a fun read so far. And as usual, here's have a Yuri meme. Bye!